division don't change, they just get longer. So let's look at this first one. 5,673 divided by 14. So I'm going to put the first number in the house, second number outside. There are 2 digits, so we have to start by looking at the first 2. All right, so how many times is 14 going to go into 56? Again, what I like to sit and think of, okay, 14 times 1 is 14, 14 times 2 is 28, 14 times 3, 14 times 4, and keep going until I get a number that's close to 56, and that's 4. When we say 14 times 4, give us 56. So I'm going to subtract 56. Again, that's this step here. And then bring down the next place value. So I'm going to bring down that 7. Wow, 14 goes into 7 0 times. 0 times 14, 0. So I'm going to subtract, which will leave me with 7. Bring down the place value. We're going to continue doing this until we can't do it anymore. So 14 goes into 73. Again, we know that 14 times 4 is 56. So I'm going to go, okay, 14 times 5 is... And again, I have to sometimes do this because I can't do it in my head, is 70. Make sure you put that 5 up there. Okay, so we have no more places to bring down, but we're left with this 3, which brings us to this last step down here. The leftover number becomes the remainder. So to note the remainder, we just say R for remainder, 3. So 405 with a remainder of 3. We have 3 left over, which is fine. All right, so let's look at another one. So we're going to do 3 together, and we'll have you do 3 on your own. So we'll say 9,776 divided by 11. First number goes in the house. Second number goes outside. All right, 2 place values, so we have to start by looking at the first 2 place values. 11's times tables are easy because 11 times 8 will give you 88. 11 times 9 will give you 99. 11 times 7 will give you 77. So look at this, and the closest we're going to get is 8. 11 times 8 will give me 88. And again, if you have to sit here and do this on the side, that's totally fine. That's acceptable. That's going to get you the right answer. All right, so I'm going to go ahead, and my next step is subtract the multiple. So 7 times 8, I need to borrow. Again, bringing it back to that addition and subtraction we did in the last unit. So 17 minus 8 is 9. 8 minus 8 is 0. Next step, bring down the next place value and keep repeating. So we have 97 again. We already know it goes in 8 times with the remainder 9. Again, bring down the next place value, 96. All right, well, 97 is 8. 96 is still going to be 8. So minus 88. Again, 11 times 8 is 88. Subtract it. When I subtract these, I get 7. Well, I have nothing else to bring down. So that means my remainder is 7. So 888 with a remainder of 7. 7 left over. So again, the divisions will not change. It just gets longer. And again, this is important because the first section of the GED, you do not have your calculator. So you need to know how to do basic multiplication, division. Make sure you're reviewing it because it's so easy now to just whip out your phone and practice it or just to get the answer. So it's not something we practice on a regular basis. So now that you're studying for this test, make sure you're practicing doing it on a piece of paper, doing it in your head without the use of a calculator. So let's look at one more. 22, 6 divided by 19. So 2,256 divided by 19. First number goes in the house. Second number comes outside. 2 place values, which means I have to look at 2 place values. So 19 goes into 22 for 1 time. So 19 times 1 will give us 19. When we subtract, that'll give us 3. bring down the next place value, that 5. 35. So let's see what 19 times 2 is. 38. So we can't even do 2, so it's going to be 1 again, because 38 is too big. So subtract 19, because 1 times 19 is 19. And borrow 16. So again, I'm going to bring down that 6. We're going to keep doing this until we can't divide anymore. So 19 goes into 166. Well, I don't know that off the top of my head, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to try something. Okay, 19 times 5. 19 times 5 is 45. That gives me 95. Well, I think I can still go bigger. So let's try 19 times 7. 9 times 7 is 63. 7 times 1 is 1. Plus 6 will give us 133. We're getting closer. I think we can still go even 1 above, but I'm going to keep that because that's pretty close. So 19 times 8 give us 152. So that's really close. So we're going to do 8. It's 14. All right, so we have a remainder of 14. All right, so go ahead. Let's go ahead and look at this one. So we have 3,189 divided by 12. All right, let's set this one up. So first number goes in the house, second number goes outside. The first thing we're going to do is divide the ones place. Well, since this is a multi-digit divisor, we have to start at 2 places. So 12 into 31. I know, looking at this, I know 12 times 2 is 24. If I go 1 up, that'll give me 36. So I know 12 goes into 31 2 times. And I know 12 times 2 is 24. So I'm going to subtract those, subtracting the multiple. And that's going to give me, so that carry the 1, 7. So I'm going to bring down that 8. All right, looking at this, okay. So how many times does 12 go into 78? If I don't know right off the top of my head, and I'm trying to do this without a calculator, I'm going to start by trying some numbers. What's 12 times 5? All right, that'll give me 60. So we're getting close. So maybe what's 12 times 6? That'll give me 72. That's the closest we're going to get. So 12 goes into 78 6 times. 12 times 6 gives me 72. So again, I'm going to subtract, which will give me 6. Bring down that 9. Ooh, and look at this. Since I did this over here, I know that 12 goes into 69 5 times, because that 60 is going to get me fairly close. So I'm going to subtract those. 69 minus 60 will leave me with 9. I have nothing else to drop down. This leftover number becomes my remainder. So remainder 9. So 12 goes into 3,189, 265 times with a remainder of 9. 9 left over. All right, so go ahead and try this next one. Let's look at this next one. So 4,738 divided by 13. Let's first set it up by putting our first number in the house, second number outside, and then start dividing. We have a 2-digit divisor, so we've got to look at two place values. So 13 goes into 47 how many times? I don't know 13 times tables right off my top of my head, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to see what 13 times 2 is. That'll give me 26. I think we can go higher to get closer to 47. So I'm going to say 13 times 3. Well, that's going to get me pretty darn close. So I'm going to go ahead and say 13 goes into 47 3 times. When I subtract those, that'll give me 8. Then I'm going to go to my next step, bring down that 3. So I have 13 goes into 83 how many times? Well, I know it's going to be bigger than 3. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to try 5. Just to see what that'll give me. 65. Yeah, we definitely can go higher than that. So I'm going to see about 6. That'll give me 78. That's pretty close. So we're going to say 13 goes into 83 6 times, and that gives me 78. So when I subtract those, it'll give me 5. Next step, bring it down. So I have 13 goes into 58 how many times? Well, let's see. We didn't do 4, so let's see what 13 times 4 is. Yeah, 13 times 4 will give us 52, which is pretty close to 58. So make sure to write your numbers on the top of the house so that you remember what numbers you multiplied by so that you know what your answer is. So when I do that, I get 6. I don't have anything else to bring down, so what's left over becomes my remainder. So 364 remainder 6. Again, remember that to write down what your multiple was every time. Because if you go through all of this and you forgot to write that answer on top, you're going to have to go through some of your work on the side to figure out what it was. All right, so try one more for you.